Joining us now, as always, about this time on a Tuesday morning, our friend from Regional Psychological Service to talk a little bit about what do we think of marital affairs? Do we know people? I would dare say we all know probably someone who was at least rumored to have been in an affair, or maybe ourselves, or maybe someone we know for sure. Unfortunately, it's a little more common than we think, but there are also some common false beliefs around that, like you're getting away with it. Maybe that is that. Joining us now, Dr. John Braccio. Doc Braccio, good morning, sir.
Well, good morning to you, my friend. And really, there really are a lot of false beliefs on marital affairs. It's actually amazing. I go back to the 70s in terms of working with parents and with couples. And to me, it's just amazing to me how many false beliefs there are. And let's just talk about a few here, like closely monitoring the whereabouts of a spouse will eliminate marital affairs. Well, may help, but someone determined to have an affair, they're going to have them, Mike. I mean, it's just the way it works. So monitoring every minute and every day, that's just going to wear you out and is really not going to solve the problem if someone's going to do it. Also, affairs don't occur when there's good intimacy in the home. This is another false thing. Even though the chances of marital affairs are less, in such cases, they still can occur. That's just another one of those things. And people who cheat don't love their spouses is another one. Well, while most would agree with this, it is sadly not always true. This is particularly true with the one-nighters or brief flings. And then another one, fidelity is just about sex. Well, this is another one not true. Spouses often have affairs to show they're still young, desirable, attractive, or to enhance their ego. There also may be anger, wanting to feel loved, need for affection, or showing control. Another one here too, Mike. Spouses who cheat once will always cheat again. Well, while the probabilities are higher in such cases, it's just not always the case. And also the possible shame, remorse, possibility of losing economic power, a spouse and family can really be powerful, so powerful that once is often enough. Another one, marriage cannot survive a marital affair. Well, while this is often the case, it's not always true. Just hard work and total honesty as a couple can reset the marriage on the loving course it started out. And marriages can also survive for other reasons, too. It could be just finances, low self-esteem of the spouse, a lack of love, family expectations, responsibility. So these are just some of the common false beliefs, Mike, and there's just a lot of them out there. So don't just assume if someone's having an affair that you really know all about it. It just makes sense because every situation is really different, and you really have to kind of get in there and sort out what's going on. But boy, there are a lot of false beliefs along the way.
You said that marriages can survive and bounce back after an affair is exposed. I find that hard to believe. How do you look someone in the eye with that deep level of trust that's been betrayed? How do you be intimate with that person? How do you go back to that life? You know what I mean?
I do. It's a very, very difficult thing. There are times many times actually, where the person can work it out. They do work it out. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it always happens, but there are times, many times actually, where people just determine that they're going to make it work. They determine what's happened, why did it occur, and what can they do to save it. That's the situation that's being dealt with. But it's not easy, and things may never be exactly the same because it's quite a betrayal, and it's something It really depends on where the relationship was. If it was being lost for a period of time, they'd lost track of each other, and all of a sudden this occurred, or if it's someone who is just very, very deceitful, and if it's someone you can't trust, and it's someone you can never have trust in again, and then it's not going to work. And there are, by the way, couples that stay together, but they don't. The love has really changed, and they stay together for finances, for families, for grandchildren's future, but they don't stay due to love. And certainly it's a dagger in the relationship. But there are those, Mike, that do. I worked with many couples over the years that, in spite of an affair, relationships, they have been able to work it out and just moved on. But again, to say it will be the same, it may become stronger, it may come together, but it'll never be the same. It's where people actually have to try to go back to why they fell in love, whatever occurred that brought upon a relationship. And there's a difference between a long-term affair, a one-time fling. I'm not trying to minimize, I'm just saying.
Right.
It depends on the circumstances, depends on the person. So, but again, it's the surprises that people have, right? Because one of the ones is if you're constantly checking on your spouse. Let's just say that you have found there has been a relationship and you're checking all the time, every day, checking the phone, checking the 360 in terms of where they are. That'll wear you out. If the person's going to be cheating on a relationship, they'll find a way to do it. Ultimately, it has to be trust, and it has to be that people really are loyal and honorable to themselves. But affairs really can destroy relationships. I've always lived by the belief if you're really unhappy in a relationship, then what you have to do is say, hey, I'm not happy. We need to work on this, or to really say I'm leaving, because there's a lot of it's very dishonorable if you're in a relationship and it's one, say, a marriage, and you're in it for love and you're committed to each other, and then to break it with having affairs, being with someone else, having sexuality with someone else. These are really pretty horrible things in a marriage, and they certainly can be destructive and cause terrible pain to the other person. So it's just important to be loyal, be truthful, come forward. But again, there are just a lot of these, false beliefs, like the one just about that infidelity just relates to sex. No, that's really not true. There are people that
really
are desirable, young, attractive, enhance their ego, these type things. So there's just a lot of these false beliefs. So the main thing is that we just let's be honest, be truthful, just say what's going on, why is this happening, why has this occurred, and work for it. And I might add, though, like there's rarely a time in my case, certainly anyone who's doing therapy and does couples work, that is not working and with persons that are struggling with infidelity and just the road of life. You're just talking to people, you certainly find out about these situations. So a sound society, a sound world is where people that are committed to each other, love each other, care for each other. And that doesn't mean people can't slip and they can't make a mistake. But when that occurs, then it all depends on where the relationship was, where it could be, if there's still love, how it can be worked out. But it's a very, very difficult situation to overcome.
Yeah. Marital Affairs, Dr. John Braccio. You can find him at BraccioPhD.com on the web. Been doing this since the late 70s. You want to talk about affairs and the look at marriage and the way intimacy, how it's changed over the years. Boy, he's seen that happen just from even the 70s. Regional Psychological Services of East Lansing in our weekly get-together with Dr. John Braccio. Doc, I hope you have a great day and a fantastic week. You and I'll get together about this time next week. What do you say?
Listen, a pleasure. Always nice talking to you, buddy. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
All right, see you later. All right. 1320 WILS. This is your morning wake-up. Mike Austin here. Back in a minute.